Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Free Game. Um, so we're gonna do a little something different this episode. Obviously, you got the Shakur Stevenson news. He dominated Tiafimo, and then Paul George news, and all other stuff. It's kind of a slow news week. So today, what we're gonna do is, I told you guys last episode that I will be giving out some college football predictions. Well, let's just do them now. My 2026 to 2027 college football predictions are going to be in this episode. If we have time, we'll go through some other things, but mainly this is about the college football prediction. So how this is going to go is I've broken down 4 categories into 4 main conferences. So the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC. I got a Heisman top 5. And I have a CFP bracket. So, yeah, listen, these are all just predictions, okay? There are some in here that I feel strongly about that I think that could happen, and there are some things in here that I wish won't happen, But that's the art of predicting, and, if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. So let's get into it. We're going to go with the 4 categories in the 4 main conferences. So the categories go like this. In each conference, it will be the best team, the worst team, the most surprising team, and the most disappointing team. Okay? Pretty simple. And let's start off with the Big 12. The best team, Texas Tech. I think it'll be between them and BYU as far as, getting to the Big 12 championship and winning it and, having an automatic spot in the college football playoff. That team will probably be 4th in my guesstimation, but I think Texas Tech will do it. They spent a lot of money this year, had a great team last year. They just got exposed, and I don't think they'll be going anywhere this year, though. So Texas Tech will be the best team in the Big 12. The worst team, West Virginia. Not very good last year. I don't think they'll be good again this year. It's kind of confusing because West Virginia is pretty much known to be a collegiate powerhouse. And, they get their old head coach back, and it's just not working out. Different styles. It's a different, it's a different era called football. And I don't think they'll turn it around this year. Just my opinion. The most surprising team is Houston. Now, this one's very interesting to me because Houston is like, 7th in the portal? Now, you could take what you want with portal rankings and how teams build within the portal. I get that. But Houston's got some juggernauts coming, over there. And in the Big 12, it's gettable. So look for them to be, a dark horse team to even come out of the Big 12. The most disappointing, obviously, Iowa State. Losing Matt Campbell is going to be huge, and his presence will be felt, without. I think they will be the worst team in the Big 12, and it'll be between like them and Colorado maybe, but we'll see what happens with that one. The ACC, the best team out of the ACC for me, Miami. They were in the national championship this year. They'll come out of the ACC again, and they're bringing back more people. They got their quarterback. Replacing Carson Beck. I think Mensa. Is he coming to Miami? I'd have to check that. Because with the portal thing and everything going on. But like I said, he, not the quarterback per se, but Miami in general is going to be a top team in the ACC without a question. They don't have a lot of people to deal with, the Virginias, and, they don't have to worry about Notre Dame because Notre Dame's not in the conference. But, I just think that they are in a very good position. Yeah, they did get Darian Mensa. That's his name. But I do think they're in a very good position to kind of control the ACC. And, I think they'll do that next year without question. The worst team, I'm going to go with Syracuse simply because We don't really have to talk about much about Syracuse. Most surprising team in the ACC is going to be Virginia Tech. Now, Virginia Tech has been getting very, very interesting when it comes to the hiring of James Franklin and their transfer portal ranking. They're sixth in the transfer portal per on three. I think this is a perfect fit for James Franklin. Not a very big school, so there's not a lot of pressure. You're in a lesser conference that's lesser than the Big Ten. You're in the ACC, so pretty much all you have to worry about is Miami and Virginia and other schools like Clemson. But I think Virginia Tech is going to be that sleeper in the conference. And once again, don't be surprised if they are going up against Miami in the ACC championship and possibly a playoff berth for James Franklin. Most disappointing, Clemson. I think this is it for Dabo Swinney, to be honest with you. He seems like he's doing the transfer portal thing, but he doesn't like it. This is a new era of college football that you have to get used to, and the past few years it hasn't been successful. I think Clemson had their worst season under Dabo Swinney last year. I don't see it getting any better. So I think they'll be the most disappointing. They're not the worst, but when you think of Clemson, you think of national championship or bust. You think of going to the playoff. I don't see them making the playoff, and that's disappointing. So, Clemson will be the most disappointing team out of the ACC. Let's go to here's what I'll do. I'll save the Big Ten for last, okay? Since the SEC Big Ten thing, I'm a Bama guy. I'll leave you guys last, okay? So we'll do the SEC next. I hate it, but that's what we got to do. The best team out of the SEC for me is Texas. Hate to say it, but they are fully fucking loaded. They are, I believe, top 10 in transfer portal rankings. The ranking itself is one thing, but the people that they're bringing in is another. They're bringing in Hollywood Smothers as a running back, and they're bringing in Cam Coleman at wide receiver. Arch Manning seemed to be getting more and more comfortable and more scary. And I believe that they are going to be the team to beat in the SEC and possibly in the nation. I think their second game they play Ohio State. So that's going to be a good one to watch. But, man, Texas is loaded this year. Loaded. I think their betting odds to win are plus 700. So they got the second best odds to win behind Notre Dame, who was the favorite to win it all. Interesting about that, but, you know how I am with Notre Dame. But that's beside the point. I think Texas is going to be the best team in the SEC. The worst team, Mississippi State. Okay, it was between them and Arkansas. Here's the deal about Mississippi State, right? And it's no knock on them. The games that they lose are all close. You know what I mean? And the top and the middle of the SEC are continuously getting better. And I don't think this benefits Mississippi State at all. I think they will be the worst team in the conference. Probably not have the worst record, but I believe they'll have the worst conference record in the conference. So, yeah, Mississippi State will be the worst team in the SEC. Most surprising, Kentucky. It feels like Will Stein, the OC from Oregon, he's going to have a lot of new changes to this team, and they're going to go back to that team a couple years ago to where every time you play Kentucky, they are scary. You have to worry about them. All their big games, they win close or lose close, and they're always that team that you have to take serious. I think that's going to be the same thing this year. They got a few transfer kids coming in that are real promising. Obviously, a new head coach, a new face, and look for them to be scary this year. And the most disappointing team, Tennessee. What are we going to get from Josh Heupel? What are we going to get from this Tennessee team? It seems like for the past 2 or 3 years, It's always, man, look out for Tennessee, man. Look out for Tennessee, a sleeper to win it all. And it's just not gone their way. They're not bad, but they're not like superior over the other top SEC teams. You know, is it that we've maybe understood the fast paced offense that they run? Because, they run a lot of, no huddle and very, very fast tempo. Are we all used to that? Have they found their true quarterback yet? Tennessee, I feel like this year is just going to be the same as last year, which is going to be disappointing because this team is always favored, always ranked very high, and always disappoints. You know what I mean? So, yeah, unfortunately, I think they will disappoint for sure. And then last but not least, the conference that runs college football for now, the Big Ten. The best team in the Big Ten for me will be Indiana because their schedule proves it. I think that they have a very decent schedule to control their own destiny and get to a level where they only lose maybe one game going into the Big Ten championship. I compared their and Ohio State's schedule, and I think Indiana's slightly better when it comes to, lesser teams, on their team or on their schedule. So that's the only reason why I picked Indiana. Once again, I mean, they're number one in the transfer portal on 3. So yeah, they went to work, and that's what they do. They play within the transfer portal. They recruit talent based off of evaluation, what makes the team better, and let's see how Josh Hoover does. But yeah, that will be the best team of the Big Ten is your reigning national champions. Sorry. The worst team, Northwestern, because of their schedule. I'm gonna run through their schedule real quick for you guys because it is insane. They are at home against South Dakota State to kick it off. Then they have a bye, okay? And that's their only, because you only get one bye week this year. So South Dakota State, bye. Then Colorado, at Indiana, at Penn State, Ball State, at Michigan State, Rutgers, at Oregon, Iowa, at Ohio State, at Minnesota, and then their last game is Illinois. Jesus. What a schedule, guys. Like I said, it's no fault to Northwestern. It's just that schedule is insane. That schedule is insane. And I was thinking Purdue, but when I seen that, I'm like, there's no way that even makes it look promising with that schedule. That schedule is insane. So, unfortunately, Northwestern will be the worst team in the Big Ten. The most surprising team, Penn State. Listen, guys, like I said, I like Matt Campbell. I was very high on him. Obviously, I was wondering why he always stayed at Iowa State. I think this is the right guy for the job. And I think he's going to turn Penn State right back to where it used to be. There was always a problem with James Franklin winning big games. I don't have a problem at all with Matt Campbell winning big games. If he can do what he did at Iowa State, he definitely can do it at Penn State. Look for them to surprise some people for sure and possibly go to the playoff. The most disappointing team in the Big Ten is going to be Nebraska. Okay, now before you come at my throat, let me explain. You guys haven't beat a ranked team since my freshman year in college, which was 10 years ago. All the things that happened with Raiola, the coaching staffs, this quarterback coming, and then he transfers to Kentucky. Now you got this quarterback. Unfortunately, I don't see this team going 8 games, 9 games, 9 wins. And that's a disappointment for Nebraska fans in general, because I mean, let's face it here. When Matt Campbell came, it was always, hey, his third year, we're gonna get it. He turns teams around, and you guys just signed him to an extension. Are you confident with the team that you're going to be rolling out? Last year's team looked way better than this year's team, and you couldn't get it done. Now, you had an injury. That happens. It's football. But now you don't have that guy. In Raiola, I'm talking about. Now, some of you say, well, he was trash anyway. Well, sometimes the grass ain't greener. We'll see how this quarterback comes in. I think it's from UNLV. We'll see, man. But I think this whole Matt Rule experience will be a disappointment for Nebraska fans and, Nebraska in general. I don't see them, winning 8-9 games. It'll be just another bowl game, which at first it was a great thing because you haven't been to a bowl game in forever. But at what point are you going to put the pressure on the athletic department, the football team, the coaching staff, and say, hey, this is unacceptable? Every team's going to get there. I'm telling you, no matter what level it is, you just seen Indiana win a national championship, something that they haven't done in 100 years. And you're Nebraska. You are a blue blood when it comes to football. I don't know. We'll see how the season goes. But that is it for the conferences. Now time for my top 5 Heisman candidates in order. Should I go 1 through 5 or 5 through 1? I think I'm going to go 5 through 1. Number 5 is my dark horse. Kevin Jennings, quarterback from SMU. Surprised that he stayed at SMU. Very surprised. If you guys don't know who this guy is, please watch highlights. He is elite as fuck. That Miami game, he's got a lot of pro talent, and he's going to be a sleeper. Playing for SMU, he is, probably buried under a lot of people's radar, but he is really, really good, and you guys need to check him out. He's going to be my 5th. 4th, Dante Moore. I just think that Indiana game was just a bad game. He had some spurts, and I think him coming back for another year does help. Experienced guy, been there, kind of understands the system, and I think we'll have a better season this year. Number 3, these are the people that I think will be going to New York at the end of it. Number 3, Sam Leavitt. Transferred from Arizona State to LSU. He's with Lane Kiffin. If Lane Kiffin can make Trinidad work, he can make Sam Leavitt work. They are also loaded. I think they have the number 2 transfer portal class in America. When it comes to offense, I trust anything Lane Kiffin does. And you look at his quarterbacks, they are really, really, really good. And I think Sam Leavitt will be up there in New York with these other 2. Number 2, Julian Sayin gets another year under his belt. So has Jeremiah Smith. Got the offense, dialed in. Got a new offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, going over there from Pittsburgh to Ohio State. So we'll see how that goes. I don't really find it too much of a change per se. But, I think he'll be about the same, a little bit better, more confidence, and, more reps are always good. So, like I said, that was pretty much his first year playing football, and now he gets another year under his belt, and, we'll see what the true Julian Sayin looks like. But number 1 is going to be Arch Manning, guys. I know it's kind of a running thing that, oh, here we go again with the Arch stuff. Here we go again. When is he going to show up? Listen, Sark did the one thing that could benefit any quarterback and surround him with weapons and a good running back. Hollywood Smothers from NC State, I watched a lot of film on him because he was supposed to be coming to Bama. He's nice. He's a big game hunter. He chunks off big runs. Very, very, very dynamic runner. And then they get Keon Coleman, formerly wide receiver out of Alabama, the number one wide receiver in the transfer portal, and Arch has an insane weapon. I think it's his to lose. You know what I mean? That game against Michigan in the last game, he kind of showed us like, okay, Arch is coming, and now you get him another year. You get Sark another year. Yeah, it's his to lose. So that'll be my Heisman candidate to win it all. My prediction. A lot of odds on that one are, pretty good too. We can go through them. I think his odds to win the Heisman are plus 750. Him and CJ Carr are the favorites. But I didn't put CJ Carr in my top 5 because the schedule. You should be dominating against the team that you guys have. The schedule is insane. It's insane. It's the weakest schedule I've ever seen. We'll get to it later. But it's time for my college football playoff rankings plus bracket. Very, very, very excited to see how this goes. Okay. College football ranking. What we're going to do is I will name off the rankings 1 through 12, but I will also have the bracket put up on here on YouTube for you guys to see. So obviously let's go with the first 4 automatic bids. Number 1, Texas. I think they will win the SEC. Number 2, Indiana. I think they'll win the Big Ten. Number 3, Texas Tech. I think they will have a slightly better record than Miami. I think that conference championship will mean a little bit more. I don't know. And then number 4, Miami, winning the ACC. Okay, here we go. Number 5, Notre Dame. Simply because their schedule, guys. Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, at Purdue, at North Carolina, Stanford, at BYU, bye week, Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU, Syracuse. You should be 5th with that schedule. 5th is the highest they can go. They are the odds-on favorite to win the national championship. With that schedule, it should be no problem that you should be 5th. And let me tell you guys something. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get 12th. I hope they get bounced out because I fucking hate Notre Dame. But listen, I can't be a hypocrite on here and say that they won't make it. With that schedule, they absolutely will make it. And I think they'll be the 5th best team in the nation because that's the highest they can go. So I got Notre Dame 5th. 6th, I got Ohio State. 7th, I got LSU. 8th, I got Oregon. 9th, I got Georgia. 10th, I got Penn State. 11th, I got Alabama. And 12, USF, South Florida. That is my college football rankings. Obviously, you guys will see the bracket and how it is set up. I completely forgot. Well, I think it goes Notre Dame, USF. Those two will play against each other. Ohio State versus Alabama. That will be a crazy game. LSU versus Penn State. And then Oregon versus Georgia. That's how it goes for the audio listeners out there, if the bracket were to go. Now, I'm not going to do the bracket fully. I think that this is just a nice little start. A couple of key things. 4 Big Ten teams and 4 SEC teams. Alabama all the way to 11th. Let's talk about it. Here's the thing with Alabama, okay? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. We are very young. Quarterbacks are probably going to be young. Receivers are young. We're getting 5 new offensive linemen. We got a new O-line coach. Running backs is young. Defensive guys are young. I think we were 48th in the portal ranking. Yeah, I honestly don't know what we're going to be. That's the thing. We could be great. We could be 11-1. But we also could be 8-4. You know, it's 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 kind of worrisome per se, but um, I just need to see who's going to be our quarterback. Is Keelan Russell going to be the guy, or is it going to be Mac? Now, for me, I want to see the young one go. I want to see Keelan take the helm and run this team because it's going to be his team for the foreseeable future. Mac is safe because he is the older guy. He's the bigger guy. Um, he's been in the system for a while, but Keelan is, he was the best quarterback in the nation coming out of high school. I don't know. I I hope I'm wrong and we're better than what I think we are, but to be honest, 11th for Alabama might be a stretch for some people, and I wouldn't blame you one bit if it is. But yeah, I think Alabama 11, Penn State at 10. I told you guys, look out for Penn State. I think they're going to be sneaky good this year. It's going to be a whole different vibe, a whole different team, and they can win big games with Matt Campbell. I'm sure of it. Let's see. Georgia at 9. Does that confuse people? Not me, because they haven't looked the same. They haven't been the same dominant Georgia. Now they're still good. Last year they've only lost to Alabama in the regular season, but it just seems like they are gettable for everyone. It doesn't matter who it could be Auburn, Kentucky, or it could be Alabama. It could be LSU, Ole Miss. It just seems like they're gettable. And I think with the mid-tier SEC teams getting better, they might have a couple more losses than last year. They might have 2 losses. And, that'll bring them down a bit. But all in all, I think this bracket and this ranking is solid. Am I confident about it? Probably not, to be honest with you. But I think it's always fun to, have predictions and, save them and then go back when the season is over and just look at how dumb you really are, because it is what it is. But you guys have to give me credit because, I'm putting it to the world, my prediction. So it is what it is. But yeah, that is the college football prediction of 2026. We got a little bit of time here. I guess we can talk about some Shakur Stevenson stuff. He dominated Teofimo Lopez, man. Dominated him on Saturday. Like I said, didn't watch the fight because I wasn't going to pay. But I seen some highlights. He's so sharp. And it just helps to have Floyd and Bud Crawford in your camp. I'm telling you. Shakur is one of those guys where if you're a brawler like a Teofimo, it fits his style perfectly. He wants you to be wild. He wants you to be aggressive. He wants you to throw punches left and right because then he can just pick you apart. And that's exactly what happened. He seemed like the bigger guy. He seemed like the more experienced guy. He seemed like the more composed guy. And I said it last podcast, and I stand by it. There's your guy. There's your new face of boxing, right there. The way he dominated T.O., it wasn't even close. I said Shakur by split. It was Shakur by unanimous. 119-109, I believe. Dominant performance, man. And that's your guy. Which, in all honesty, boxing need it. They need it bad. With all the stuff that's going on, with Tank, he's arrested again. Tyson Fury announced that he's going to be returning. That'll be his last fight. No Deontay Wilder. Let's see what Anthony Joshua does, but we've seen that already. Canelo's long in the tooth. Bud's retired. Shakur Stevenson, man, there's your guy. Latch on to him. He's a good boxer, good fighter. And him and Conor Benn is really tasty. I'm telling you, that'd be a good fight. The casuals probably don't know Conor Benn, but if you watch boxing a little bit, you know Conor Benn. That's a fight. To go from Teofimo to Conor Benn, that's a nice back-to-back stretch for Shakur Stevenson, for sure. So, shout out to Shakur. Like I said, he dominated. Now, there is some interesting things I want to talk about in the NBA, okay? Last pod, I ripped out the Warriors front office, and I said that Giannis was merely a dream. Well, it seems to me, from what I've been hearing and from what everybody else has been hearing, that Giannis to the Warriors actually might be the best option available right now. Trade deadline ends this Thursday. Will there be a deal done to get Giannis Antetokounmpo to Golden State with Steph Curry? I don't know. There's a few things that could stop it. Let's say San Antonio wants to be in play. They have a better package than the Warriors, and that would be insane. Let's say Houston wants to get into play with Giannis. They have a better package than Golden State. OKC, they won't do it, but if they wanted to, they could. 4 first-round picks, Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Pajinski, for Giannis. That's that's what I've been hearing is the best package available. Now, Milwaukee doesn't have to trade him till the offseason. They don't have to trade him at the deadline. So they could wait. But the thing is, if you're the Warriors, Jimmy Butler's out for the season. Steph's probably got a couple years left. Do we wait for Giannis in the offseason to where everybody else probably has better offers now in the offseason than the trade deadline? Or do we still make a move? Do we have a plan B? Like last trade deadline. Because I remind you, last trade deadline, the Kevin Durant deal was done. The deal was done. It only took KD saying, hey, I don't want to go back for it not to happen. And then Jimmy Butler happened right after that. Is there a Jimmy Butler plan if we don't get Giannis? Which is a plan B? Who would that be? I hear a lot of people saying, well, maybe Anthony Davis. Guys, at first I was very skeptical, but then I remembered we had DeMarcus Cousins, and he played, The Warriors medical staff is very good. Look at what happened to Steph. Steph's been injured his whole career, and it seems like they managed to save his career because of, all the ankles and stuff like that. Sean Livingston, same thing with him. Major injury and still made him work. And the good thing about Steve Kerr is he doesn't Tom Thibodeau his guys to where, yeah, you're playing all your minutes and I don't care what you say. He manages his guys well. That's one thing I will say about Steve Kerr. But listen, man, if the Warriors and Joe Lacob, if they go get Giannis, I'll take back everything I said. It depends on who are we giving up. If you're telling me we're giving up 4 first-round picks, Pods, and Kuminga, I'm happy with it. Because that means that we still have Draymond. We still have Will Richards, our great young draft pick. We still got Buddy Hield, and we still got Steph and Jimmy. So Jimmy will be healthier into the next season. I like it. Get it done. Go pull the trigger, please. What else is there in the NBA? Oh, yeah, crazy thing. Paul George got suspended 25 games for it might have been PEDs. I don't know, but it was with the drug policy of the NBA. he's taking full responsibility, which is good, but he said, he's working on his mental health and he took the wrong prescription. Now, for me, looking at it, you're Paul George. I'm guessing he has people that handle that for him because, these NBA players have people handle their food. I suspect he would have somebody to handle his prescriptions. So you don't have anybody to check if, hey, am I taking this? Is it good? Or if you have a medication that isn't good and one that is good, and you took the one that isn't good, why do you have the one that isn't good? I don't know. A lot of questions for that one. It is what it is. The Sixers are going to be fine without him, but I just think it's weird that an All-NBA player messed up like this. That doesn't happen. You don't see KD, LeBron, Luka, Steph, Joel Embiid even. You don't see these guys mess up, and he's in that caliber. I don't know. 25 games is a lot, man. It's a lot. And who knows if he won't be traded or not. I don't know. The Sixers are looking good, though. But yeah, nothing actually happened in the trade deadline yet. It's been a slow year because usually it seemed like trades are just getting rattled off left and right, and it hasn't been that way. So, looking for some interesting moves. The Giannis one, once that happens, I will be right here, instant reaction. I might be working, and I'll still do an instant reaction because that is massive news. But what else comes? I think the fall off comes this week. Excited for that. Heard his mixtapes. Let me tell you, man, he's talking big shit on there. He's talking big shit. I'm very excited for that. I'm gonna try to do a live reaction video to the whole album, to listen to the album. But yeah, I think that is it. Like I said, slow news week. Just want to get the predictions out there. And, hopefully we hit on some. Hopefully we don't, like Notre Dame. But I think that is it. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on audio, I appreciate it. If you're not, go to Apple, go to Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and continue to comment. I love getting in the comments. So, yeah, that is free game, and I'm out.